It really is, Michelle. A family lost their one-year-old child, and that is just devastating. Deputies say these type of investigations always take a toll on them. Today, they searched that home and gathered evidence where that child was shot and died.
Anytime there is a child involved, it's an extremely tragic situation.
On the edge of Granite Falls, a young life lost. Snohomish County deputies say a one-year-old girl was shot inside her home. She died.
It's hard on everyone who responds, and we're very sad to see that a one-year-old child lost their life.
Deputies say Saturday evening they got a 911 call about the shooting at the home on State Route 92. When medics arrived, they found the child shot and tried to save her life. Deputies say they don't know what led up to the deadly shooting. Detectives say the parents are cooperating in the investigation and no one is in custody.
At this time, it's still an active investigation. There are a lot of unknowns. Detectives are back on scene investigating this morning, and we'll have more answers later.
As detectives continue to piece the tragic shooting together, there will be support for them with the difficult circumstances.
The Sheriff's Office and many law enforcement agencies in the area do offer resources and peer support for folks who respond to these kind of tragic situations.
Well, Steve, researchers are expecting that cases are going to be going up because of the Omicron variant, on top of dealing with the Delta variant that's already really prevalent in our area and across the world. But how severely that this Omicron variant will impact this case rise remains to be seen.
In what seemingly feels like a never-ending roller coaster in this pandemic, Dr. Ali Mokdad's forecast is sobering.
But Omicron will, of course, increase the spread of the virus and then will increase hospitalization and mortality from COVID-19.
With cases of this new variant now being discovered in Washington, there will likely be more discovered over the coming days and weeks. Back in November, Mokdad told us that cases like last winter will see a surge as we head into 2022, but with Omicron now in the mix, that expectation could change, and not for the better.
It's too early to make an impact on the projections for winter because right now we're dealing with a Delta surge in the United States.
The overwhelming variant that continues to be at the front of health experts' minds right now is the Delta variant. But the idea that Omicron is here and already spreading is why alarm bells have already started going off among some doctors.
We would really like to ignore it and pretend it's not there, but that won't help us. We have to deal with this head on, and we will.
Infectious disease expert Dr. Paul Pottinger says it may feel tiring to hear that another variant is making the rounds, which seemingly is more infectious than Delta, but the health community is already working to tackle this newest problem.
If we stick with what we know, which is that immunizations, vaccines really do make a difference, wearing a mask when we're indoors around strangers, that really does make a difference. That's as true for Omicron as it will be for others.
But the fear of Omicron has already had people wondering about future pending restrictions, especially over the winter months, like testing requirements that could go into place for domestic flights. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky on ABC's This Week says that doesn't seem likely to happen.
The next 6 months really depend on how we mobilize together to do the things that we know work.
Today, Congressman Rick Larsen toured areas of Whatcom County that are left damaged by those devastating floods that hit the region last month. County is still digging out from all that record rainfall. And as KOMO Suzanne Fawn explains, help from the federal government is not a done deal.
Propane tanks sitting here where it shouldn't be. Shopping carts have been floating around.
Representative Rick Larsen is taking it all in, looking at what massive flooding has done to the Marietta neighborhood in Bellingham.
Right now, the number one need is get people back in homes that they can inhabit and get the damage assessments done so we know really what the clear damage is.
Larsen started his tour at the Whatcom Emergency Operations Center before heading out to see areas inundated by water. Whatcom County says 1,400 homes have been impacted by flooding. Of that number, 500 have major damage and 60 are uninhabitable. Determining the dollar damage is tricky.
The fact is, the $50 million number is very likely to get bigger.
Larsen says getting help from the federal government is not a slam dunk.
The counties report to the state reports to FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and there'll be some sort of assessment. But that may not be like a final federal assessment until into late January.
Floodwaters forced homeowner Paul Ridley from his home. To give you a point of reference, I'm 5 feet. The water got so high, it was above me.
I've been in this home for 31 years, and there's only been 2 major floods here, in that time where the water got up high enough to get into the house.
Paul Ridley has some serious damage to his floors. He has insurance, but he's not sure it'll cover everything. Ridley, along with other homeowners and local and state leaders, know it's going to be a long road to recovery.
The county's just digging out right now.
In Bellingham, Suzanne Fawn, KOMO News.
Series of events targeting mosques in the Puget Sound region. Community members are banding together to bolster the Muslim community. Newly released video shows something exploding outside the Islamic Center of Olympia last Tuesday. Thurston County Sheriff's deputies say it appeared to be a firework, but concerned community members believe it was an attempted attack. KOMO's Suzanne Fawn has more on a peaceful gathering to support the Islamic Center.
Showing a little love can go a long way. And on this Friday, every heart you see is a sign of silent support.
Simply to say, we see you, we are here with you, we support you, and we love you. We love you.
All these supporters at the Islamic Center of Olympia making sure that those showing up with their prayer mats Friday afternoon feel like they belong. This after recent attacks at local mosques.
So I thought it's the least we could do.
Dallas Roberts lives just around the corner from the Islamic Center.
We want our neighbors and friends and coworkers that come here to have their religious service to know that they're a welcome part of our community and that this is a safe place for them to gather.
Just last week, surveillance video from the Islamic Center captured this. According to the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CARE, someone driving by dropped a device in front of the center that then exploded. Back in October, someone deliberately set fire to a mosque in Tacoma. Authorities have arrested a suspected arsonist. Around the same time, someone stole and vandalized religious items at Mountain Lake Terrace Mosque.
I think it's very important that our communities come together to let one another show that we're here for one another.
Back to the Islamic Center of Olympia, all faiths and all backgrounds are standing together. And for those like Abdullah Lee,
we have about more than 500 families that attend this mosque here, the Islamic Center.
That means a lot.
It makes us feel so good. It makes us feel welcome.
Thurston County Sheriff's Department doesn't believe that the incident that happened here was a targeted attack on the Islamic Center. Even so, they tell me they plan on increasing patrols. In Olympia, Suzanne Fawn, KOMO News.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Johnson from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and all of Western Washington. And don't forget to click the subscribe button below